What's going on, you guys? Risky Ryan Trades here. Today we're going to be going over gold, silver, and oil. All right. Is war upon us? Hey, it's a valid question. Oil hasn't been doing very good, but gold and silver are screaming something at us, and no one can figure it out because the stock market is doing good too, and crypto's doing bad. It's just the market is. It almost never makes sense, does it? But we're going to try to make sense of the price action today. We're going to look at the charts, and kind of I'll give you my thoughts on what I'm thinking. So this is year to date. This is year to date performance. You can see gold has done 72%. Silver has done an incredible 170%. And if you were in leveraged, you did 493% if you did 2x leverage. Wow, I should have just threw $500 into that. What was I thinking? And then oil is U.S. oil. It's down 9%. So we're going to take a look, see where everything is at. But before we do, quick disclaimer: I'm just a guy on the internet. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and hopefully educational purposes only. Also, hitting that like button does me a lot of good. If you could do that for me, it means a lot. Thank you in advance. Comment your thoughts down below, of course. If a thought comes up in the middle of this video, that helps the algorithm too. And if you've watched my videos before, or you just like this video already, hit the subscribe button. Join us. We're at about 300 subscribers right now, 310. Would love to get this channel to grow a little bit more. All right, let's look at the big dog, gold, first. A lot of what you're seeing on my screen, it's called a Gann square. And I'm actually going to really zoom this out here so we can see how market symmetry works. Now, one of the big things are these Gann arcs, and they can basically be like timeouts for price action. You can see here, it obeyed this Gann arc for a very long time, but once it breaks free, here we go. And it got up and through this Gann arc without too much of an issue. There was a little bit of a freak out here back in good old 2008. And then, it had to form a base again at 1100, but now we are screaming, I believe, back up to this Gann arc or Gann angle here. We just busted right through this Gann arc. Will it go up in a straight line? It could. It absolutely could. The strength on both silver and gold are incredible. They're crazy. But ultimately, I think what this price action is trying to do is get up and over this Gann angle and reclaim this Gann angle. And today, that's a 70% increase from today's price action. But so every month it goes up. If we're looking at 8 months from now, that's 100%. So if it takes 8 months to get there, it'll be up 100% from today. And yeah, I think it could do that. I do think it could do that. Now let's go to the weekly. Sometimes the Ganns don't scale exactly, but they still give you signal. And you can see here, we had a pullback a few weeks ago, and it came back to the bottom of the Gann arc. So short term, I think what price action is trying to do is get up to about a $5,000, 50 to 50 kind of level of price for gold, for an ounce of gold. And that makes sense. I could see that by March we have a $5,000 gold. That doesn't even sound that crazy, right? It's holding the Ichimoku really well. Between April and August of this year, we built a big volume shelf right here, and we've just been on the move. We've been on the move. I don't really see a pullback coming. We could have more volume. We could potentially stay at this level for a while, but the way that this looks, it looks like it's trying to get somewhere. It really does. It looks like it's kind of like the old NVIDIA charts where it's just clearly trying to go somewhere. And so, and that direction would appear to be up. So, in the coming week, it could do a lot of things, but, between now and probably, I don't know, July, I think that we get 13% at least return on gold. That's kind of my call. Could be a lot more, though, the way that this thing's moving. Speaking of the way that things are moving, let's take a look at silver. Silver has been an absolute animal over the last, call it, 2-3 months. I have been talking about silver since the beginning of the year. Been buying DCAing in, and all my silver I bought under 45 bucks, but that was only a couple tranches that I bought there. The vast majority was 37 to 25 bucks, 30 bucks, and wow, like I wish I had a little bit more time to buy it at those levels, because it is clearly on the way going somewhere. One thing that you absolutely have to know about silver is the gigantic cup and handle pattern that's been forming here. Let me get the Ichimokus out of here so you can look at it more clearly. Since 1980, this cup and handle formation has been forming, and it's breaking out right now as we speak. And this thing, I think that 86 bucks is probably, maybe where it bumps its head for a minute, but the way that it is moving, I think it's going to break right through that. Maybe we pull back and we form a base at that level. So I think that silver is still a good buy, even at this level. And you'll see a lot of confluence up here at the $300 level, between 310, call it, and 360. You have many key levels. I have multiple Fibonacci's, and the Gann box that I'm using ends at 360. So I don't know if it's going to happen in this run, but in my lifetime, maybe in 2045 or something like that, I could definitely see a $300 silver. So this thing it's just an animal. It is moving very fast. I was not expecting a $80 silver just a couple weeks ago, but the move is on. It's on the move. I would be worried about buying the top here, but just look at this Marubozu candle. This monthly candle, it is just relentless. The price action is absolutely just relentless on silver. I don't know what else to say. I guess the other thing I would say is we're looking at futures. You can look at SLV as an ETF. I like physical silver for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into on an investing channel, but physical silver is just way better. You want it, because when you want your silver, you're going to want it. When you want to use your silver, you're going to want it in your hands. You're just going to want it on you. Just like you should have gasoline stored. Speaking of oil, let's take a look at oil. Oil is getting rejected by the Gann arc. See how powerful these Gann arcs are? And so I could see it getting lower. Let's take a look at linear real quick. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to see a $42 on USO. This is crude oil, by the way. This is I think futures, WTI crude oil. I don't really have much of a prediction, but we can just take a look and I can let you know my opinion here. We're out of the Ichimoku cloud. We're falling. On the monthly, that's really bad. On the weekly, it's just gave you a lot of opportunities to short it. I mean, right here, this sort of where it's under the Tengen-sen, this is the reverse of a bullish pattern, like textbook. So, and it came up, rejected. See that wick that comes off the Tengen-sen? So it wants to dig lower. Drill, baby, drill is the price action of oil right now. Drill, baby, drill. Eventually, something will happen. I'm sure a war with Venezuela would definitely change that pattern. But until that gets announced or something happens, especially if there's peace in Ukraine or something, then oil's just going to keep going lower. But it really would need to get into this. Once it gets through this Gann arc, I think you can have a really nice oil trade. But until that happens, I don't know. So there could be a really good technical setup that comes about, if this Ichimoku can turn around and we can get through this Gann arc, you could see a nice parabolic move up and over all-time highs and have a really strong, I don't know how long it would take. Probably would take some time. It might be like 2028 before we really get something, but I'll keep an eye on it. And, if there's any kind of movement in Ukraine or Venezuela or something like along those lines, that definitely moves the price of oil quite a bit. But for now, it's just going down and to the right in a slow, controlled, almost like traders are controlling the price action of this thing. And until something changes, it's just going to keep moving in this direction. That's what I think. So I hope you enjoyed that video. We'll keep it short and sweet, just looking at gold, silver, and oil here today. If there's something else that you want me to take a look at next week, like if there's any like copper bugs out there that are watching this channel, just comment below and I can take a look at that next week as well. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, do all the things, help me out. Until next time, Risky Ryan, out.